When I say I'm depressed, it doesn't mean that I'm just having a temporary feeling of sadness. Like,
And another partial lockdown. Beaches closed.
hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since my last video, even though I promised that I would make more videos more regularly. I have been struggling since the last video I made. And in that video, I spoke about one of the struggles I was having, which was a fibromyalgia flare-up, which you could see in this video up here. So I was experiencing a lot of pain for an extended period of time all over my body. And just when I started to feel a little better and recover from that, I started experiencing what I think are IBS symptoms. IBS is irritable bowel syndrome, and even though it hasn't been diagnosed as yet as irritable bowel syndrome, I'm getting symptoms similar to it. And to me, it's worse than the fibromyalgia pain. I would take the body pain any day over the stomach cramps and the constant bowel movements and the diarrhea. And it's so bad that most foods that I eat, even foods that I'm accustomed eating, even the food that I cook, does not stay in my stomach. As soon as I eat it, it just comes right back out. I'm going to talk about how I've been struggling mentally with all of these different things that have been happening with me. I mentioned in my video talking about what fibromyalgia is and stuff, which you can see here. I mentioned that one of the symptoms of fibromyalgia is depression, but depression by itself is a chronic illness, and it's also something that I've had even before being diagnosed with fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome. But I thought that it would have been something that once I treated it, it would go away and I'd get on with life. But I realized that it is a chronic illness just like fibromyalgia, and it has flare-ups. So I'm having a depression flare-up right now. When I say I'm depressed, it doesn't mean that I'm just having a temporary feeling of sadness. What I'm talking about is mood disorder, officially called major depressive disorder, which according to WebMD is a mood disorder which causes major sadness and lack of interest in life. These past few months have been very stressful. The fibromyalgia flare-up with all the body aches and pains, and now the IBS symptoms. So being under a lot of stress will cause you to get depressed, because it seems like with these illnesses, they're chronic. So that means that it's going to last most likely for the rest of my life. And just knowing that makes me feel really hopeless, because I have more bad days than good days. And when it seems like I'm recovering from one thing, something else happens and it might be worse than what I had before, and it just adds on to the whole feeling of hopelessness that, I'm never going to get better and I'm never going to get any relief. And when your body is sick all the time, you're on a lot of medication, you're going to see a lot of doctors who are going to put you on more medication. And if you tell your doctor, doc, I'm feeling really stressed, I'm feeling really depressed, they're going to increase the dosage of the medication. And that has caused a lot of weight gain. I've gained like about 50 pounds in the last few years. And I'm only 5'4", so I'm really overweight. Of course, when I look in the mirror now, I'm like, oh my God, I just look really horrible. And it doesn't help that Trinidadians love to remind you and keep pointing out to you that, hey, you've gotten fat. That causes low self-esteem. In addition to my body basically failing on me, when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't like what I see. And that just makes me feel even worse about myself. So my body is failing me because of the chronic pain and the fatigue that I feel from my fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. And now with the IBS symptoms, now I have this added factor of being unable to eat as I like. So life has gotten really hard because I'm in pain all the time, I'm tired all the time, and now my stomach is always cramping and I can't eat without being in discomfort. Due to being sick all the time, I have lost a lot of my independence and my mobility. To me, that's the biggest thing that is really depressing to me, because I have been so accustomed doing things to myself and not having to rely on anybody. I really, really cherish my independence. And now that I'm losing a lot of it, I don't know how to deal with it. And also, when I'm sick all the time and I'm feeling like I'm in a lot of pain, it comes with a sense of loneliness, because nobody really knows exactly how much pain I'm in. And even though I'll explain and I would try to make people understand what I'm experiencing, I know it's hard for people to grasp it, especially since I look fine. And that's the thing with invisible illnesses, that even though you're telling people that you're sick, they don't see it. So it'll be hard for them to really grasp what it is I'm going through. And then social media doesn't help, because when you go on social media, of course, people are posting up the good part of their lives, and you're seeing people living their lives and looking happy. I'm here now just feeling miserable all the time. And even with my friends, I know that they're supportive of me and they're understanding, but they are living their lives, and I feel like my life is just basically ground to a halt. Then there's the other factor that I always have to be worrying: when is the next flare? So that I'm always in a state of anxiety or panic. Like, is this food that I'm gonna eat cause me to get sick? Or if I walk this distance, if I sit for too long or walk for too long, will I get another pain flare up? One time I even got a panic attack after eating a meal. So that's to tell you how bad it is with me. So even though I mentioned all those other factors that have contributed to my depression, I believe that the root cause is a chemical imbalance, because I've been living with it for all these years. And it makes sense, because one of the treatment options is medication. Now, I've been on medication for depression since my early 20s. I'm on depression medication now, because that's what is usually given to fibromyalgia patients anyway, because of the risk factor of depression with fibromyalgia. If I don't take medication, I know that I will be unable to contribute to society. That's why I believe that part of it is a chemical imbalance. That's my opinion. I might be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments below, if you agree with me or not. So what do I mean when I say I'm depressed? Well, I'm sad and hopeless a lot of the time, because sometimes I'm feeling like I'm getting worse. I'm gaining more and more weight. I can't exercise to lose the weight. I've also been very irritable and angry a lot. But these days, just the smallest things are making me very, very angry. I get irritated a lot. Sometimes the smallest things will irritate me. I keep blaming myself for getting sick. And it sounds ridiculous, but that's how I feel. I keep wondering, maybe if I didn't worry so much after mommy died about just basically keeping the house in order, maybe I wouldn't have gotten fibromyalgia. Maybe I wouldn't have worried myself into this illness. I even started wondering lately if to continue doing this channel, even though I started this channel as a way to help me deal with my illness and to find other people like myself who have similar issues like me. Not necessarily fibromyalgia, but chronic illnesses. And when I started doing it, I really enjoyed it. I especially enjoy editing videos, even though it's time consuming, especially with a full-time job. But I really enjoyed it. Enjoy it, sorry, in the present tense. Yeah, I really enjoy it. But I started questioning, should I even bother to do this? I could barely function on a daily basis. Does it even make sense to just continue trying to do these videos? I can't even do them as regularly as I wanted to. The scariest symptom that I started experiencing once again was thoughts of death or suicide. Thoughts of suicide is called suicidal ideation. when I'm feeling hopeless and lonely, I'll be like, maybe death will be easier than this. Better than being in pain all the time and feeling useless. In addition to those symptoms, I also experience things like sleep disturbances like insomnia or oversleeping, tiredness, lack of energy, changes in my weight, well, in my case, weight gain, trouble thinking or concentrating, similar to brain fog, and of course, body pains. All these symptoms, I can't tell the difference between if it's depression or fibromyalgia because they both share those same symptoms. That's why I keep saying I believe that fibromyalgia is caused by depression and mental illness because of the fact that a lot of the symptoms that I experience are similar to depression. And I believe in my case that it was my mental illnesses that brought on fibromyalgia in the first place. So that's why I can't understand why to this day doctors and scientists can't come to that conclusion that fibromyalgia is caused by mental illness. Again, I'm not a doctor, but that's just my opinion. As I realized that I have been going through a depressive episode, I have been getting treatment. I've started back psychotherapy. I never used to go therapy regularly because of timing issues, cost. Therapy is expensive. But I've decided to go regularly, which for me is once a month because that's all I can afford. I'm continuing my medication, and when I told my doctor that I was feeling depressed again, she increased my meds, and that has helped a bit. I'm exercising more, even though it's difficult. And as I mentioned in my video about how to cope with fibromyalgia, which you can see here, I exercise using videos from a channel called Coco Lime Fitness, which I'll put in the description below. It's just workouts that are easier and practical for people with chronic pain and fatigue issues. The exercise is really good to get the endorphins going through your system, and endorphins improve your mood. I'm changing my diet, trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to sleep better. So even though I'm having issues staying asleep, I'm trying to go to sleep on a schedule. So I try to go to sleep the same time every night, and I go to sleep using a meditation app. Hopefully that will eventually improve my sleep. I want to start journaling. A journal is really a good way to write down your feelings, and once you get it out of your system, it will actually help you to feel better. And it's also a good way to track the different times when you might have a depressive episode, to notice if there's a pattern, the times when these episodes happen. I'm also learning to rely on people more and to not be afraid to ask for help or for support. So I have 2 or 3 very close friends who I confide in and tell them how I'm feeling. I've created my own kind of support system instead of trying to do everything by myself. I'm making the effort to schedule my time so that I could do the things I love, which is music and making these videos, so that I could do things that make me happy, that I enjoy doing. So with that being said about me working on creating more content, I promise this time, I know I've done it in past videos and you're probably like, yeah, you said this before, Janine, right? But I really am working on a schedule to do at least a video a month. I'm going to start putting in my description box below all the things that I use to create content. I mean, I don't have all the latest tech like all the other creators, but I do have a ring light, I have a mic, and I also bought a podcast mic. I haven't used that as yet. I want to set that up and use it. So I'm going to put a link in the description box of everything that I use. So if any of you all want to create content for yourselves, you could see what I'm using. You can also follow me on Instagram, also on TikTok. So check me out on TikTok as well. So even when I'm not making regular content on YouTube, I at least still want to be doing stuff on Instagram and TikTok. If you stayed with me to the end of this video, I am so thankful. And for those of y'all who have been asking me what's been going on with me and been asking for new content, thank you so much for the support. And I promise that I'm going to make the effort to release content more regularly. So let me know if this video is helpful to you in any way. If you or someone you know is dealing with depression right now, I hope that this was helpful. If this video has made you realize that you are experiencing depression, please go to your doctor and seek professional help as quickly as possible. Let me know what you thought about this video. Leave it in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you click the notification bell next to it and click the one on top that says all, so that way you'll be notified every time I release a new video. So I'll see you guys hopefully next month. Bye. Take care.